Well, Ray, I think we've all just made the assumption that Jalen Hurts is going to be just as great this year or greater than he was last year. I think last year's improvement was exponential. Can he be that good again, or can he be better?
No, I think he'll be better. I think he'll be better. I think that he is just that driven. I think that some people have asked me, "Oh, is he going to be changed? Now that he's got the big contract, he's making the big money. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. All of that stuff. Is that going to have any effect on him?" And I really don't think so. I think he's just a unique kind of player, and I think he's a unique kind of person in terms of his single-minded focus on just his profession. I mean, he is 100% football player. I mean, he's not thinking of being a TV star. He's not thinking of being a corporation. He's not thinking about a career in TV. He's just thinking about winning football games. And the improvement that you've seen in him throughout his career, from Alabama to Oklahoma to his early days in the NFL to where he is now, I mean, every year he's come back as a better model. And last year, obviously, I mean, if you look at all of his statistics, I mean, they all jumped. And, I don't think he spent this offseason just laying on the beach at Turks and Caicos. I think he spent this offseason studying film, evaluating himself, figuring out ways that he could get better, and worked at it. And if you saw him through the training camp and through the preseason, well, of course, he didn't play in any of the games, but just in preseason, the way he looked on the practice field, I think he's going to come out and have another very, very big year.
Ray, the running backs, Kenneth Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, 4 pretty solid running backs when healthy, of course. Will any one guy be utilized more significantly or more often than the others, or is it going to be, game to game as far as who gets more carries?
It's going to be game to game, series to series, quarter by quarter. I think that they're just going to – I don't think there's going to be an overall design. I don't think there's going to be a designated number one. I think there'll be certain teams that they play certain weeks in given situations where Penny might be the guy. You might need a little more power. You might need to run the ball between the tackles more. Other games you'll see that maybe you feel like you want to throw the ball and you feel like the linebackers can be exploited in passing. And so Swift might play more. I think that the biggest difference is Gainwell showed last year, by the late in the season and then certainly into the playoffs, that he had really kind of supplanted Sanders as the number one back. So the decision to let Sanders go, to me, wasn't that surprising. Gainwell made that kind of progress. So he'll probably, if you had to go into this and you had to sort of project a depth chart, right now you would probably put Gainwell number one. But I think the other guys are all going to have their role. And I think that the addition of Swift is a significant one because, the Eagles didn't throw the ball to the backs very much last year. And DeAndre Swift is a very good receiver and gives you a weapon out of the backfield that you did not have before. So I think you will see that part of the offense going a lot more this year is passes to the backs. And boy, if you're a defensive coordinator, good luck trying to scheme this offense because you've got, Brown and Smith on the outside, who are as good a pair of receivers as you got in the league. You've got Dallas Goedert, who's become probably one of the top 5 tight ends. He's in there too. And you're going to have to account for all of those guys in terms of your coverage. And then you have Swift coming out of the backfield behind them. You're going to have to cover him with a linebacker. And there aren't too many linebackers that can run with that guy. So I think you take Swift and you put him in this offense with those kinds of players around him. And, I think he can be a real big major contributor on this team.